What's going on, everyone? Today we are taking a look at the KanDao QooCam Ego 3D camera. This is a 3D camera which includes its own viewer, so you can view the videos in 3D in the camera as well. Taking a look inside the box, you have your manual and quick start guide, a USB-A to USB-C cable, cleaning cloth, a nice little carrying pouch with their logo on it, a small lanyard strap attachment that goes onto the camera, a little reflector that we'll go over shortly what that is. Then you have the viewer attachment right here. And last but not least, you have the actual camera itself. So taking a look at the camera itself, this is a very small and portable camera, which is great because if this was any bigger, I probably wouldn't use it as much. But with this, you can easily put it into your pocket or bag and barely realize it's even there. So taking a look at the front of the camera, you have two lenses here, and this is what allows the camera to capture stereo 3D images or video. This works similar to the movies you'll see with the red and blue glasses, except this is just a little more advanced. When recording in 3D, this captures video in 3840 by 1080 or 8000 by 3000 for images. So as I said earlier, you have this little piece here. Let me just pop this open. I haven't used it yet. So unlike a GoPro and other cameras, there is no front screen on this. So what this is basically a little mirror that you put here. And this way you can now take videos of yourself kind of in selfie mode. It's kind of a cheap and inexpensive way to give you that ability to see yourself. A little unusual. I haven't seen this before, but in my opinion, it works just as well as a small screen. So not a big problem. And cool that they include that with the camera as well. Coming to the back, you have a 2.54-inch touchscreen. I've used this a few times already, and this screen looks great. Gets plenty bright, and it's also very responsive as well. Coming to the top of the camera, you have your mode and shutter button. This is also your power button. On the other side, you have a button to see your videos or photos on the camera, as well as an up and down button to navigate the camera. Coming to the other side here, you have this little door, which honestly is a little hard to remove, but I guess that's good. That has a good seal on there. And inside here, you have your removable battery. You have a SD card slot, which supports up to 256 gigabytes. And down here, you have your charging port, which is a USB-C. Then lastly, on the bottom here, you have a hole so you can screw this on a tripod or gimbal as well. Alright, so I've been using this camera for about a week now, and it's definitely a very cool and interesting camera to use. I've showed it to my kids and wife as well, and they were just impressed as I was. It's just a strange experience to record video and see it play back with things popping out at you. Depending on what you're recording, sometimes the 3D effect isn't that prominent, but if you do something like stand there and reach out toward the camera, that's where the separation and depth really comes to life, and overall, it's just a really cool thing to see. Honestly, if this camera just came alone, I think I probably wouldn't have used it that much, but because it includes the built-in viewer, I think that's what really makes this camera shine. Alright, so using the viewer attachment is very easy. The camera right now looks like this on regular mode, but as soon as it detects this has been clicked on there with the magnetic connection, it'll switch over and show a side-by-side view, and that then gets put into these two lenses here, which does what it has to do in here. And then in here, you could see it in 3D. So this is very easy to attach. It has a magnetic connection. And then beside that, you also have these two little clips at the side. So that's firmly on there. Then take it off, you just push them down and it just pops off like that. So appearance-wise, they made this look like the old Viewmaster toys, which adds a more fun appeal to the camera as well. This is basically like the modern-day high-tech Viewmaster. Unlike the Viewmaster, you're not stuck with a few images, but you can actually record and make any cool 3D images you feel like. So one quick thing I want to note is when you first get this camera, it only has manual focus. So basically, if you wanted to focus on this here, you have to click these dots here and basically tell the camera how to best focus it. But that was a complaint that a lot of people had. So in a recent update, they actually added autofocus. So very similar to a smart camera, it'll just look at the item and automatically focus. Definitely brings a lot more value to this camera, because honestly I didn't like using manual focus. It kind of took out the fun of just like point and shoot. But with the autofocus, it's definitely a lot better. So if you buy this camera, make sure you connect this to the app and get that updated as soon as possible. Alright, so when you film on this, you could either film with just the camera like that, or you could even look through this lens while you're filming and see everything in 3D, how it's going to come out after it's filmed as well. The videos do film in a traditional side-by-side 3D video format. So this means that beside on the camera, you can also see these 3D videos on a TV with 3D glasses, or a VR headset such as the Oculus Quest, or even the new Apple Vision Pro. I know a few people that have VR headsets, so it's cool that beside gaming, I can now share 3D videos with them as well. So taking a look at the camera, when you power it up, this is what you'll see here. It's very similar to something like a GoPro or something like that. Over here, you have your browse button to look at your videos or photos you have in the camera. Over here, this is where you have your focus, like I said earlier. Coming over here, you have your settings buttons, a few basic things you could do over here. You could even set your own timer if you want to record yourself. Up here, this is a customizable button, so you can click this and have it do whatever you want. Right now, it's set to lock the screen, but you can put that to whatever you feel like. Alternatively, instead of pushing this, you could also swipe up at the bottom. That'll bring out the settings. Swiping down, you have your Wi-Fi button, the same lock thing, brightness. So that was on low brightness. This is as bright as it gets. Very bright, very good brightness. You're definitely gonna be able to see this outside, no problem at all. Coming over here, you have to download your videos or photos. Then taking a look at the settings, you have your account, your hotspot, which is how you connect to the camera. It works very similar to the GoPro. Basically, your phone makes a direct connection to the camera. Then you can view or transport your files that way. Battery saver mode, auto sleep mode, auto shutdown mode. A lot of these settings weren't here before. These also came with all the updates. So like I said, if you get this camera, definitely get the updates because they keep adding a whole bunch of different things. Coming into FN settings, you have a few different things you can customize here. Like I said, this is for the customizable Q button, and these are all the different options you can set to that button. You got system volume, grid lines, and you can even use this as a webcam as well. And yeah, that about wraps up the interface. As I said earlier, you can click this button here to quickly view your stuff that you have on the SD card. I just took that out, so it's not showing anything. So besides on the camera, you can also edit or view things on the QooCam app as well. I haven't used this too much. I'm not too familiar with it. I'm still getting the hang of it, but from my experience, it's been very easy to use and navigate as well. Basically on this, you can just view your content or remotely view your footage while you're filming, or edit and splice your videos as well. One thing I really liked about the app is they have the smoothing feature in there. So similar to Final Cut Pro or any video editing software, as soon as you transfer video from here to the app, you can set it to automatically apply smoothing. So whatever you record on here, it'll take out the jitteriness and make it a lot smoother through the app there. So I was hoping I could show what this looks like on the camera through these little lenses here. Okay, you can kind of see it. So you can see it shows one eye on this side, and then it shows one image on this side. So this is not two screens. Like I said, this just splits the actual screen you have here down the middle, and it puts one to this and one to this. But in here, basically through how it overlays them, it makes it into a 3D image. So like I said earlier, you can use that to view, or what I like to do is actually film while using this as well. You kind of got to look down. It's kind of awkward to do it, but you get used to it, and it makes it a much more fun and more like immersive experience. So I've recorded a few different videos on this, and I'm definitely happy with both the video and photo quality of this camera, especially for such a small device. This is my first time using a 3D camera in general. I thought it was going to be hard to do, but it's very easy, very straightforward. There's really nothing to it. If you can use a regular camera, you can use this as well. So there's no reason to be intimidated. Overall, if a 3D camera is something that interests you, this one here is definitely a great option to look at, which again is the QooCam Ego. Alright, well that about wraps up this video. As usual, if you have any questions at all, feel free to drop me a comment. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.